Hey everyone, Crazy Jimmy here. Sorry it's been a little while. Hopefully you can see my head. I'm sitting on a book as promised. Actually, the book I'm sitting on is this one. Enjoy the experience. This big, thick, hardcover, massive, private pressing book. Let me go ahead and put it back down. There we go. You can kind of see my neck now. I look like what Wilson from, what's that show? Home Improvement. Hey, how are ya? Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be a vinyl finds video. Got a couple of these coming down the pike. Today is one of them. So hopefully you enjoy what I've got. I've got some cheap heat along with some not so cheap heat, but most of this is cheap heat. So hopefully you enjoy it. I'm going to roll through them, kind of give you, show you the album and tell you, what it sounds like a recommended if you like, which I know is always good to hear. That way you can kind of decide whether you even want to listen to the snips before you purchase. All right, so let's have at it. Before we do, though, please comment down below. Please hit the notification bell. Please subscribe. Please thumbs up if you like what you hear and see. Of course, that's all up to you, but I would certainly love it if you did. All right, so let's get rolling. The very first one we're going to show today is this one here by Stained Glass called Aurora, and I really love the sleeve on that. Capitol Record, Rainbow label. This is from 1969, and I believe, no, I'm sorry, yeah, 69, and I would say if you like Jimi Hendrix and Experience, the band, and Mad River. So that kind of combo, and I know it's an odd combo, but Mad River is a great psych band that put out a couple amazing albums back in the late 60s, early 70s. And Stained Glass, especially Aurora, which is the heavier of their two, which I'm gonna show you the other one, Crazy Horse Roads, which was before this, but this is, Jimi Hendrix Experience, definitely some of that going on, but you've got the band in there as well with a couple tracks, and then Mad River specifically with the vocals. So check that out. And then here's their first one, Crazy Horse Roads, 1968. And this one's a little different. This is a little more Baroque. Not quite as heavy as Aurora, but sorry for the glare. But still both great albums. All right. Next up, I've got a couple from this band. This is cheap heat for sure. This is Bronco, Country Home. And this would be 1970 for this one. This is Jess Roden. On vocals, really amazing vocalist. They call him a blue-eyed soul vocalist, but on this album, it's this is country rock pretty much all the way. I recommend if you like the band Free, Bad Company, if you like Cowboy on the Capricorn label, and I'm a big Cowboy fan. This would in CSNY. This is highly recommended, especially this one here. His vocals are just phenomenal. At times, there's a couple tracks, like the last two tracks on this album, he sounds like Paul Rodgers, Jess Roden does. But then there's also some really, creamy vocals here too. So not always sounding so rock, more SoCal or Southern California with that Southern California sound. But Bronco Country Home, this could be had for a really good price. And I believe Jess Roden is from the Alan Bound set. So prior to this, he was with the Alan Bound set. And I think I got one more from Bronco I'm going to show in a bit. Next up, been showing a lot from this guy, but this is one of my favorites from him. This is Jack Grunsky, who spent some time in obviously Canada, but also Germany. This is his self-titled from 1971 on this Cuck label, and the label's so cool. Check out that label. It's got a little bird there, and Some psychedelic colors there. It looks like balloons. But really, really cool. This is probably my favorite from him. Toronto being my second favorite. But this one here really shocked me and how good it was, for sure. The best way I can describe it, singer-songwriter folk, country folk for sure. Very melodic, very catchy, well sung. There's some toy keys on a few songs, which really shocked me. If you like Nick Drake, Cat Stevens, James Taylor, that combo there, I mean, you will really dig this one, especially, Toronto and this one here, the self-titled. These are kind of hard to get in the States, so you might have to go overseas, but even if you do, you're not going to pay a ton for them. So, highly recommended. Next up, this is Brotherhood, and this is from 1968 on the RCA label. Right there. And don't be thrown off by the cheesy, let me see if I can, by the cheesy cover there. Definitely cheesy, but this is three members from Paul Revere and the Raiders. And let me tell you, if you like late period Beatles, then this album is for you right here. And I know looking at it, you're like, yeah, right. 100%. I think they put out a real something even more psychedelic than this after this, called Friends something, Joy of something. I forgot. It's like all instrumental, but it's super psych. I like this one a little better because I'm a huge late 60s Beatles fan, and this really ticks all the boxes for me. Some of my favorite tracks. Let's see, track Forever is super trippy with vocals fed through like a Leslie box, like a Leslie speaker. I love it when bands or singers feed their vocals through a Leslie box. It just distorts their vocals, and, there's a track or two on here like that. But really, check it out. This is Super Cheap Heat, Brotherhood. I can't believe how inexpensive that is. Next up, another one, Cheap Heat. Again, Teo's self-titled, The Beatles, The Byrds, Mamas and the Papas, without, female vocals, without Mama Cass. But that's what you have here. This is a gatefold, still in the shrink, but it's on that cool Mercury label there. Let me tell you, the harmonies on this are just to die for. There's a couple tracks where there's no harmonies going on throughout. But the majority of these songs, there's like 3 and 4 part vocals going all the way through the songs, which actually lends to the, how amazing this sounds, because when there aren't the harmonies going on, or that harmonizing, the vocals aren't nearly as good. It's weird. There's a couple tracks where there's some lines or some verses where there's no harmony going on or harmonizing, and the vocalist doesn't sound great, but then the harmonies come in and they're singing together for the majority of this album, and it's just so amazing. Side B especially is just phenomenal on this. Super Cheap Heat. I mean, this can be had for $10 to $20 depending on condition, so don't sleep on this. This is from 1970 as well. There you go. Nice country rock there too. Next up, we've got another one from Bob Brown on the Stormy Forest label. This is Richie Havens' label, who kind of took Bob Brown under his wing. And, big time Neil Young the vocals between Bob Brown and Neil Young are super close. A little bit of Joni Mitchell with the phrasing, the guitar phrasing on this as well. A little bit of Tim Hardin. 1970 loner folk, I would call this. Again, cheap heat. This can be had for between $10 and $20 depending on condition on the Stormy Forest label, which Richie Havens started. And also check out his other one. I think I showed his other one in my last video, Willoughby's Lament. Just amazing. I think Willoughby's a little better than this first one here, but they're both they're both recommended. Next up, great country rock album by Rio Grande, self-titled. This is from 1971. Recommended if you like the Byrds, Nesmith and his First National Bank, the Byrds, Sweetheart of the Rodeo, Little Graham Parsons, Little Pure Prairie League. I mean, You just can't go wrong here. I mean, this can be had for $10, and you're swimming in just amazing country rock. So check that out. I showed this band's second one, Aardvark, last video. This is their first, called Avenue Road. Kensington Market is the band. 1968. If you like the Zombies, if you like Love and Spoonful, kind of that combination. This one is less Beatley and more towards like the Zombies and Loving Spoonful than Aardvark, but this first one by Kensington Market is also just amazing on that cool Reprise label, W7 right there. Some really great track, and this was produced by Felix Pappalardi, I believe his name is, who produced the Youngbloods and Cream Desirelli Gears. So, he really fleshed out a lot of the songs on this and just, made them sound incredible. So, more Cheap Heat for you, Kensington Market. Those can be had for nothing. Again, Cheap Heat. I showed Silver from this band last video. This is their self-titled first one. Tranquility is the band, 1972. This is folk rock with a touch of psych. Recommended if you like CSN, Badfinger, but mostly Crosby, Stills, Nash. Silver, which was their second one, is more like a mix of the Beatles and Queen. So, I mean, they're both Cheap Heat. They're both amazing. Do not sleep on Tranquility. It looks proggy, but it's not. I mean, it's not so much prog to me. It's more, pop and folk rock, mix, especially on this one here. Not a whole lot of prog going on at all. And this features a fellow from, the guy who wrote Physical for Olivia Newton-John is the songwriter and singer here. So, and don't be thrown off by that. This is no Physical. This is the second press, by the way, from 73, even though the album is from 72. All right. Next up, I got a pretty funky one here. This is The Open Window. God, I love the cover there, but this is hard to describe. This is from 1969, more Cheap Heat. If you like the Beach Boys' Smile and Van Dyke Parks and maybe a little bit of Zappa and Henry Cow, of all people, of all bands on the Vanguard label, you'll dig it. It's like chamber jazz, avant-garde, classical pop. And sometimes the vocals will remind you of those Beach Boys vocals on Smile. I think this band is like 3 keyboardists. So, and, don't get thrown off by the back either. Check out these dudes on the back. You'll look at it and go, yeah, there's no way. It's psychedelic on the front. It's like party in the front. No, party in the back, business in the front. Party in the front, business on the back. So you look at these dudes in the back and you're thinking, yeah, that's going to suck. But no, not at all. Super, super good Baroque psych pop. And like I said, if you like Van Dyke Park's Smile era, mixed with a little bit of Henry Cow and Zappa, yeah, I think you'll love it. And it's Cheap Heat, too. It doesn't cost anything. Next up, another Bronco, Ace of Sunlight. This is their second one. This is more Free and Bad Company, like a mix of Bad Company and Free. So it's a gatefold. This is a UK press. But yeah, if you like Free and Bad Company, I mean, you'll be all over Ace of Sunlight by Bronco. Country Home, the one prior to this from 1970, is more country rock. So this is more the hard rock that Free and Bad Company were doing. There's a little bit of country rock there, but very little. Next up, and I've seen this one shown on the VC, but more Cheap Heat, Timothy Clover from 1968. The Cambridge concept of Timothy Clover, a Harvard Square affair on Tower Records. And man, this is so good. This is Bosstown Sounds. Reminds me of the Beatles, a little bit of Association. Again, there's some psych moves. There's some treated vocals on this, which I love. Just a a phenomenal album cover. Look at that album cover. Just amazing. How these albums fly under the radar. I mean, $10 and you're walking home with that one. And it's so great. Don't understand how that happens. Now these last two are not cheap heat, but highly, highly recommended. This is Jerome Guidry's Turning Back. And this, so the story behind this is, this was written and released only 100 copies, advanced copies, 100 only, 1973. And this is really good loner folk. And, if you like Donovan, Joni Mitchell, Cat Stevens, that sort of stuff, amazing melodic folk, right up your alley there. Obviously no female vocals, but Joni Mitchell's guitar phrasing and writing, Donovan and Cat Stevens, I mean, you can't go wrong there. So what happened is in 1973, he had 100 privately pressed. That's it. So this is uber rare. If you're going to find this, it's going to be triple. You're going to be paying $1,000 to $2,000. So Jerome, who's now he's in his 70s, almost 80. He cut another 100 on his own, privately pressed, and he had the original slicks front and back printed, and I'll show you the back one. 10 by 10 slicks printed, and pressed up another 100 of these bad boys. So this is the repress. Still privately pressed. There's the back. And it's really hard to get. Like, this repress is, it goes for anywhere between $200 to $500 online if you do see it. So it's not, easy to find. Yeah, let's seal this back up. And there's the label there. Highly, highly, highly recommend this. Really great guy, too. Now, if you reach out to Jerome, don't pay the $400 bill. Just reach out to Jerome. You can reach him. I think he has a Bandcamp. And you can also reach him through Discogs. If you're interested in this album, listen to a few snips online. I think there's a few on there. Let me know, and I'll get you his email. Just reach out to me and say, hey, I want to pick one up. I'll get you Jerome's email, and he'll hook you up, and you won't be paying $400 for it. I think he has a few left. He told me he had a handful left. So, but yeah, check it out. I guarantee you're gonna love it. If you like loner folk, privately pressed loner folk, you're gonna want this anyway. So, let me know if you're interested, and I'll get you his email. I got his personal email. Really great guy, and he'll ship it out for you. Last but not least, Jimmy Campbell from the band Rocking Horse, which is behind me there. Amazing Beatlesque Badfinger album right there over my left shoulder. But this is Jimmy's first solo album, Son of Anastasia. Love the font on that. On the Fontana label, which consistently produces great stuff. But yeah, this is 1968. Recommended if you like Nick Drake, Dylan, without the Dylan vocals, and Cat Stevens, those three, but mostly Nick Drake and Dylan, a little bit of Beatles in there too, a little bit of McCartney. But yeah, this is amazing, amazing stuff. I'm a huge Jimmy Campbell fan. I'm a huge Rocking Horse fan as well. That Rocking Horse album, yes it is, I think it's called. Badfinger, Beatles, oh, so good. Worth every penny, and so is this. And so is his second 1970 solo, which I showed in a previous video called, what was that one called? Half-Baked. Half-Baked. But this is his first. So check this one out too. You will not be sorry. So, hey, thanks for watching Vinyl Finds. I'll have some more to come, I promise. And I'm sorry for the delay. Again, if you like what you're hearing, seeing, comment, notification bell, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Crazy Jimmy out.